friends, Miss A here. Today we are going to talk about our math module lesson 17. So module 5, lesson 17. And what we're going to do is we are going to practice placing various fractions on our number line. So let's get started. Before we do that, we are going to compare our two fractions. So we're going to use greater than or less than to say which fraction is bigger. So let's get started. I have 1/2 and 1/3. Which one would I use? Take a moment, pause, think about which one it would be. Which one would be greater or less than? So I would read it from left to right. 1/2 is something to 1/3. And if you guessed 1/2 is greater than 1/3, great job. Next is 1/3 is something compared to 1/4. So again, would I say greater than or less than? And take a moment, pause it. We know that 1/3 is greater than 1/4. Next one is 1/6 and 1/8. Which one is greater or less than? Take a moment, think. And 1/6 is greater than 1/8. And last but not least, we have 1/6 is something to 1/5. Is it greater or less than? And I know that 1/6 is less than 1/5, okay? So again, just think about the denominators and which one is bigger or smaller. So now I have my word problem here, my application problem. I know with a word problem, I need to read, draw, write. So let's read together. Sammy sees a black line at the bottom of the pool stretching from one end to the other. What in that sentence is important? I like to do it sentence by sentence, or you can read it all at the same time. But Sammy sees a line at the bottom of the pool, and it stretches from one end to the other. She wonders how long it is. The black line is the same length as 9 concrete slabs that make the sidewalk at the edge of the pool. So on the side of the pool, that line is the same as 9 blocks or concrete slabs on the side of the pool. So that would be outside the pool is the same length as the line inside the pool at the bottom. One concrete slab is 5 meters long. So I would circle 5 meters long for one concrete slab. That's super important. What is the length of the black line at the bottom of the pool? So the bottom of the pool, I need to figure out the total length. Also, side note, our secret word, we're going to say it throughout the rest of this video, so make sure you're watching the whole thing to find out our secret word. So now I have to think about it. I have to think about what I would underline. So if you need to, pause this video and we will, you can solve it on your own on a blank piece of paper and we will get cruising together. So I have to draw my pool and I know there's a black line. Okay, so this is the first part of my drawing. There are 9 boxes, so 9 concrete slabs that are 5 meters long for the length of the pool. So I know I have to draw 9 boxes and each are 5 meters. So I label my sidewalk, I label my pool, and I think about this black line and think about how there are 9 total. So now I need to find out what is the length of the black line at the bottom of the pool. How can I solve that? I know each block is 5, so I need to think about 1 unit or 1 block is 5 meters. So I need to times 9 by 5, which is 45 units long. So that would be my answer to my word problem. And of course we need our right. So we read, we drew our picture, we did our number sentence, and we need our word sentence. So the black line is 45 meters long. All right, I hope you guys got the same thing. So now we have our concept development. What we're going to do, I'm going to move myself down, is we need to draw a number line with endpoints 1 and 4. So we're going to label the whole. So first thing we need to do is draw a number line with a 1, 2, 3, 4. So I draw it out and I know my holes are going to be there. I need to partition or break each hole. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 2 thirds. I need to break it into thirds. And then I need to label all the fractions from 1 to 4. So your number line should look something like mine. So from 1 to 2, I know 1 whole is 3 thirds. So 2 wholes, so if I have 2 groups of 3, I have 6 parts to 1 whole is 3. 3 is 9 thirds, 4 is 12 thirds. So now this is my fraction, what it would look like. I don't start with 0/3 because my number that I'm starting with is 1. If it helps you, you can start with that 0, but we know if from 1 to 2, my whole is broken into thirds, I know that all I have to do is just think about, okay, one group of 3, so it would be 3/3. 2 groups of 3, which would be my 6 up here. 3 groups of 3, which is 9. 4 groups of 3, which is 12. So you'll notice that I'm looking at the whole, what my denominator is, and I'm multiplying them together to get how many parts total I have. So if I have 1, I have times 1 times 3, which is a total of 3. I have 2 times 3, which is a total of 6. 3 times 3, which is 9, and 4 times 3, which is 12. So I just think about how many parts I have. So what do the fractions have in common? What do you notice? So take a moment, think about what you notice, what they have in common. And, we may notice that they're all groups of 3. We're going up as, just like we said, we have 3, 6, 9, 12. So I'm counting by 3s. So think about all the other things you notice as we go through our number line. Next, I want you to draw a number line, another number line with endpoints of 1 and 4. So a brand new number line, you can do it right underneath the one that you have. So your number line will look something like this. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what do you notice about these fractions? We have 2 halves, 5 halves, 7 halves, 8 halves. So just like the one that we had before, what do you notice about these fractions? Take a moment, think, pause the video. You'll notice that they all have halves as a denominator, and they are greater than 1 whole. So we know that two halves is 1 whole, because I have 2 parts to my 2 pieces. So now we need to place the fractions on the number line. So I have my number line here. Think about first breaking this number line into halves. So I would draw my lines and then placing them there. So I know 2 halves is the same as 1 whole. I know 5 halves if I do 2, 3, 4, 5, which is my number over here, because I would have 2, then 2 more parts would be 4, 5 pieces over here. I have 7 halves, and I have 8 halves. So as I go through, if you want, you can draw the number line and or a line right here. You can label that part, but this is the one that we are asking you to label. So friends, today what you're going to do is your job is going to be to number your number line. So just like we did here, you have 2 halves. You have to think about the denominator first, how many parts you need to break the 1 and the 2 and the 3, the 3 and the 4. Last one that we did was in thirds. This one's in halves. So you just need to break it into halves and kind of think about where each fraction would go. So that will be your work for today. And yeah, so our code word is spaghetti. So think about that word, think about telling your teacher, and think about how you can place your fractions on your number line with a unit greater than 1. All right? Happy